Have you ever had a dream so real, it felt like a memory, a dream that stayed with you, not just for a day or a week, but for a lifetime? I want to share a story with you, something incredibly personal that happened during one of the darkest times of my life. It's a story about friendship, loss, and a strange little detail that gave me the closure I so desperately needed. Just 2 days after losing one of my closest, dearest friends, I was a walking wreck. He had been in a terrible accident. So while we were semi-expecting the worst, nothing can ever truly prepare you for that kind of phone call. The days that followed were a blur of grief and a desperate attempt to function normally. I was back at school, trying to keep up, but I was running on empty, completely sleep deprived. I found myself in the university library, a place that held so many memories for us. The weight of exhaustion was just too much. I sat down at a desk, laid my head in my arms, and just fell asleep. The next thing I knew, I wasn't alone anymore. I blinked, and there he was, sitting right beside me. It was so normal, so familiar. It was a scene that had played out 100 times before. The two of us, supposedly revising, but mostly just hanging out, sharing whispered jokes and banter. It didn't feel strange at all. It just felt right. In this dream, or whatever it was, we stood up and started wandering around the library, just like we used to. We watched a librarian meticulously putting books away on the high shelves. Then my eyes were drawn to a girl sitting on the floor, completely absorbed in her book. The thing that stood out, though, were her socks. They were this incredibly bright, almost sickly shade of yellow. My friend, ever the comedian, leaned in and made one of his classic silly dad jokes. He whispered something like, "Those socks are a bit too loud for the library, don't you think?" I remember chuckling, a real, genuine laugh that I hadn't felt in days. We just chatted in low voices about nothing important. The usual, easy back and forth we always had. We talked about classes, about plans that would never happen, about the silly little things that make up a friendship. It was mundane and beautiful all at once. Then we walked back to our desks. And just like that, I woke up. My head snapped up from the desk. He was gone, of course. My heart lurched with that familiar pang of absence. I was startled, disoriented, but then this strange, unexpected feeling washed over me. It was euphoria, a profound sense of peace. I felt lighter than I had in what felt like an eternity. Still trying to make sense of it all, I got up and decided to walk around, maybe to clear my head. I went over to the same set of shelves we had just been looking at in my dream, and that's when the hairs on my arms stood up. I saw the exact same librarian in the exact same spot, putting books away. My heart started pounding. Then I looked down, and my breath caught in my throat. There, on the floor, was the same girl, still reading her book, and on her feet were those impossibly bright, loud, yellow socks. I swear to this day, I hadn't seen them before I went to sleep. It was the most intense feeling of déjà vu I've ever experienced. I just stood there, staring, a wave of emotion hitting me. It was too specific, too real to be a coincidence. Was it just my sleep-deprived brain playing tricks on me, piecing together things I'd subconsciously seen? Maybe. But in my heart, I don't believe that. I like to think it was him. It was his way of saying goodbye, of giving me one last moment of our normal, one last stupid joke to make me smile. That experience, dream or not, helped me immensely. It was a turning point in my grief. It didn't take the pain away, but it gave me a sense of peace, a feeling that he was okay, and that we'd had our final chat. The yellow socks thing has always stuck with me. It's not often you see socks that vibrant, but every single time I do, I think of him. I think of our friendship, our final walk through the library, and his last perfect, silly joke. It's my little secret sign from him, a bright yellow beacon of a friendship that time and even death can't erase. Grief is such a personal journey, and there's no right or wrong way to navigate it. Sometimes, comfort comes from the most unexpected places, a memory, a song, or even a pair of loud yellow socks in a quiet library. If you're going through a tough time, please remember to be kind to yourself. And if you've ever had a similar experience, a sign or a dream that brought you comfort, I'd be honored if you shared it in the comments below. Let's create a space where you can share these moments of connection. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.